Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's September 17th, 2022, and September is flying by. It has gotten chilly here. It is currently 10 degrees, feels like 7, and we're only getting to a high of 18. So gone are the 20s and the 30s and even the 40s that we had of summer. It doesn't look like we're going to go back into the 20s again. So fall is here. With that, hopefully there'll be some hikes to do, some adventures to go on. Who knows what will happen even this weekend. It's a long weekend here, so we'll have 3 days to try to enjoy it, and yeah, hopefully things go well. For those of you who are still trying to get me something, hopefully you are, for the Queen's video that is I'm talking about, please send your emails to robertlennox@gmail.com and include in that the pictures of the video or the story that you want to include. I think I've got about 6 entries right now, so not a lot of entries, so I'm hoping that some will come in today, and then maybe even tomorrow, and then Monday I will work on putting it all together and have it out either Monday or Tuesday for you guys to watch. But thank you for those of you who have submitted. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get on to the questions that you have for me today. The first one comes from Yulia in Russia, and she says, today's her birthday. So he says, not really a question, but a request. Can you wish me happy birthday? So, of course, I can wish you happy birthday. Happy birthday, Yulia. Hopefully you have a great time. Hopefully your daughter is doing well in college and you guys are settling into your new city. Yeah, there's been lots of changes, so I'm sure that this birthday year will be magical for you, and you'll have lots of new memories created. So wish you all the best on your birthday today, Yulia. My next question comes from Jilly B in England, and she says, where were you when you heard the passing of the Queen, and what was your reaction? Well, funny enough, I was actually just shooting a video, and I was standing in my entryway, just beyond the door here of my office. I was going to go outside and kind of do a walking tour of the yard, show you different things that were going on there. And then I got a text from my daughter in Montreal, and she asked me if I'd heard that the Queen had passed away. So I hadn't, and so yeah, I was kind of floored. I mean, I knew that she had been sick, and that the family members were rushing to see her. And so when I was with my parents earlier the day, that's kind of what I told my father, because my father had asked about her health, as he had heard that she was feeling ill. But it wasn't until I got home when I was just about to go out to shoot the final part of my video, when I heard she passed away. So I was kind of in shock. And if you watch the video, you'll see that too, because right after I'd heard and I'd communicated with my daughter, I went out and started to film the tail end of my video, and just kind of had to have a twist to what that video was going to be about, because I wanted to speak my mind and tell people what I was thinking about. And yeah, it's been different. It's hard when she has been the only monarch I've ever known. My father does remember a time before, so I can go to him and talk to him about that, of, you know, the passing of the monarch, her father, and her coronation. And he was asked, he was in the RAF at the time, he was asked to stand guard the day of the Queen's coronation, but he declined it because it was going to be a rainy day, and he really didn't want to stand on the side of the street all day in the rain. Looking back, I don't know if he regrets that decision, if he would have liked to have been at the coronation, but I can sense his reasoning why he didn't do it at the time. So yeah, so my reaction was a bit of shock, and it still is a little bit of that. So I'm hoping that this video that I'm working on will help alleviate that, and get to move on. All right, well, let's move on, that being said. So Basil in India says, how do you react or feel on a day when you don't receive any mail, as you might not be quite used to it? Did you feel somewhat lost when you were away for the while, when you were unable to check the mail? All right, so yeah, luckily lately I have been getting mail regularly, whether it's one piece of mail or multiples in a day, but it hasn't always been that way. When I first started post-crossing, it was a very long time before getting a letter, even sent off your original 5 postcards, and it might be several weeks, or even, yeah, 2 or 3 weeks before you even see your first postcard, sometimes even a month. And then you might only get 1 or 2 a day, or 1 or 2 a week. So in those early on goings, it took a while to get used to it. And now I'm at the point where I'm almost overwhelmed that I get so so much. I'm not trying to brag or anything. I get to send out 13 officials now, so they get to go out. But I've made a lot of great friends as a result of this YouTube channel, and so people have sent me things, and then I send them back things, and so it's a continuous swap. So I'm constantly writing out cards and things each week to go out. So I'm happy when the mailbox is full. But there are days still where nothing shows up, or it's a bill, or it's a flyer, or something like that that shows up in the mail, but there's no postcards. So those days are quite sad, because you know you've got to wait 24 hours for the next one. And you'd mentioned that you get mail 6 days a week in India, and here we only get it 5. And of late, we've had some holidays or some stat days, so sometimes it's only 4. When it's only 4, it's kind of nice, because sometimes you get a lot more mail those days. But it is sad when you don't get any mail. And when I was away in Montreal for 2 weeks, yeah, it was sad not to be able to see what was in the mailbox, but it was so exciting when I got back and see all the things that had come for me while I was away, that people were still writing letters and writing cards and sending things. So that made me happy to come back to that, and I certainly enjoyed while I was away doing all the things that I was there with my family to do. So that was great. So thank you, Basil. All right, the next question comes from Nicole in Ohio, and she says, how do you keep track, organize, or keep up with your current and ongoing swaps? Spreadsheet, handwritten? So yeah, I have a spreadsheet that I keep track of. Anytime someone asks me for a swap, I put their name, I put the country they're from, or the state and country, or province and country, whatever I might have. Sometimes it's even the city, if I have a whole bunch of places from those countries. What else do I put? I put the official post crossing number. If it's an official one sending out, I put usually registered. If it's a registered one, or swap, if it's an individual one in the spreadsheet. I put sometimes the number of swaps I've done with that person. A lot of people that I've been swapping for, like with over a year now, I haven't kept track of how many cards have gone back and forth. And that's a result of, I had an original spreadsheet, and I don't know, a few months into it, somehow it got deleted. So I had to start all over again, so I lost all that information. So those people I've been swapping with forever, I just put a little question mark in how many times I've sent. But it doesn't really matter how many times you send back and forth in those continuous swaps anyway, so it's not an applicable number. And then I usually put in a field the postcard that I'm sending that person, or a postcard and stamps. I usually write in there if I happen to be swapping some stamps with them too. I like to do that because then I can look back when I'm going to send them another postcard in a continuous swap. I can see what I've sent them in the past, so I'm not duplicating what I'm sending them all the time. So it might be a laborious task to keep track of that kind of a spreadsheet, but it has helped me stay organized that way, that people aren't getting the same postcards sent to them all the time, and I can keep track of where things are going. So that's how I keep track of my swaps and my registered cards. I've also kept the printouts. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue to do that, but when I get a registered address, I print it off so I can see what their likes and dislikes are for their cards, and then I usually file it away. That in the future, I think I'm probably just going to shred that information. There's no reason for me to save it. I don't go back and look at it in the future, so I'm not sure why I really am, other than I am. So that is your question. Thank you so much, Nicole, for writing one in to me this week. It's always good to have some new people write questions in, and I appreciate all the ones that continue to do so. And that looks like my last question. So once again, happy birthday to Yulia in Russia. Hopefully she has a fantastic day. And if you're watching this, yeah, comment, tell me what you did, or send me a message, tell me how you spent your birthday. Basil's was last week, so yeah, it's kind of nice getting different birthday messages out to people on these messages or on these posts. And it's nice to see what people are doing and hear that things are okay where they are. And if they're not okay where they are, hopefully they will get better. So that's what we look to, the positive in the future. All right, for me, I'm going to try to figure out what the rest of the day is going to look like for me. It is a bit chillier, but the sun is out, so I can get out there and do something, like go for a hike, go for a drive or something or other. That's kind of the plan I'd like to do. And at some point I want to get in to see our zoo, because we've got new wallabies here, a new enclosure was created for them. So I'd really like to see that, maybe even document and show you guys what that's all about. So that's the plan for now. And for you guys, have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?